The opinions, viewpoints, and beliefs presented on this program do not necessarily reflect those of the management, the affiliates and broadcast partners, or the sponsors. Listener discretion is advised.
Scarefest Radio, the radio you can see.
And good evening, everyone, and welcome to Scarefest Television. Yes, I've got new graphics, new banners. I'm going to try not to say the words Scarefest Radio, but I know I will dick it up. I want to welcome everybody. The original broadcast date is October 4th, 2019. Yes, we are in the Halloween season, and we're going to be talking about some stuff tonight that we're going to be doing via the Scarefest to celebrate Halloween. But, of course, my guest tonight, we can go ahead and flip over to her just for her to say hi. Our new co-host that we've added, CC. Hello,
hi, guys.
CC.
Glad to be here.
We'll be getting into her whole backstory and everything, about how she came aboard, if you will, here in just a moment. I got a couple things I need to say. First of all, we're gonna beat this into you. The Scarefest wines that were available online at the Talon Winery are going to be available through Christmas. The perfect Christmas gift. So make a mental note of that. Go to thescarefest.com, click on merchandise, and you'll find a link to the Scarefest wines. And now you do have to kind of be local or know somebody local because you have to pick them up. Because Kentucky sucks as far as getting liquor in the mailbox. But I wanted to throw that out there. Two things happened last week. He was my best friend in high school, finally watched the show. And he texted me, and he said, "Great job, you look like you were drunk." And so, I didn't know how to take that. I was both flattered, and I'm like, I guess I talk about drinking so much that people assume that I'm drunk all the time. I do not drink. Except for the Christmas holiday episode. I do not drink on the air, everyone, because I am a professional. Now, the other thing is, we're trying to catch up on the archive. We are so far behind getting the archives on scarefestradio.com. I was watching some of the old episodes, because I actually do that. I actually see what they look like, make sure the audio's okay. And I realized I never smile. I spend too much time frowning. So I need to smile more. There it is. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and get into it. Everybody, once again, welcome CC to the show. CC is going to be our new, one of our new, horror co-host. And I want to put this in very specific terms. No, I'm not quitting. Soon as I announced that she was coming on as our new host, somebody posted, "Oh my God, you're quitting." No, you can't get rid of me that easy. I would like to just do more production work and not have to grind this shit out every week. But no, I'm here. You're stuck with me. I am the voice of the Scarefest, everyone. So, I don't even know why I need you here to tell this story, CC. But everybody that's there, she's eye candy for the episode. I was introduced to her. I have an old friend, Jen Anderson. She was at liveparanormal.com when I worked there. And this is actually, it kind of fits together. I had done Live Paranormal, done the show there for several years, and I decided I need to learn how to work with co-hosts. And so at the time, Jen was wanting a show. Nikki, Paranormal, was wanting a show. And I actually did an audition for the other two spots, found one person immensely more qualified than me to be my co-host. So what I did, we actually, for 1 year, Paranormal Filler, my old show, had a co-host. Every week I rotated them. First week, second week, third week. And Jen, it led to her getting her own show on the network, and so I was very proud of that. But Jen is an untapped resource. She was always prepared. She's a very talented lady, and we've kept in touch. We're still good friends. But so when I was thinking, I really need to get somebody to come in on Scarefest. I need more estrogen. It boils down to I need more estrogen on Scarefest Television. I've got the wrong backdrop up. It figures. Okay. So I got in touch with her, or I saw her at Scarefest, and she says, "Wait, I've got someone you have to meet," and the rest is history. So, what did you think when the half-drunk bearded man at the party walked up to you and asked you if you wanted to host a TV show?
So first of all, Jenny is out there and she is listening to us right now. So Jennifer, moi, love you. Thank you for introducing me to Wes. Wes, I think you have a beautiful smile and you have great teeth. You should smile more often. When I met you, I just thought you were full of charisma. I also thought you were a little bit full of bullshit, and I wasn't sure that this was actually going to happen. But I'm excited to be here.
She thought I was hitting on her. She totally thought I was hitting on her. I knew it.
I didn't say that, especially since Anita was standing right next to you. So I thought your intentions were honorable, of course. But yes, where we met was actually at the VIP party for the Scarefest.
Launch party.
The launch party, which, I didn't know what to expect. It was our first time there at Scarefest. We'd never been before. I was very excited because I knew for years it had been very based on the paranormal, and myself being a huge fan of horror. When you guys were working the horror aspect into it, that made me very excited and made me wanted to come along. So my girlfriend and I jumped in the car with Jennifer, drove down there from Baltimore to Kentucky. We had a fantastic time. We were a little bit nervous about going to the launch party because, I'd never hung out with people really in the paranormal world other than my aunt. Who I know is family, and she's always been a little crazy. And so I just, that's normal for us, right? So I was really impressed by all the people that I met there that night. I met some guys from Spirit Mechanics that I thought were amazing, who told me a little bit more about what they did. And I was just really intrigued by that, and, got to meet you and some other fantastic people there. So I'm really excited to be part of the community now. And I appreciate you having me on to speak with everybody.
I'm just going to say, the last time I had a female co-host I signed up that did not live, in Kentucky, it crashed and burned in 2 months because, that's the way my life is. Now, I do have to correct you on one thing, though. Scarefest has always been a horror and paranormal convention. The thing is, it used to be a lot more balanced. The paranormal used to be a lot bigger chunk of it. They finally did the math and realized that horror people buy tickets out the wazoo. Paranormal people, if you don't have the right team, they'll stand back and pout. So in other words, it's went more horror than it ever was in relationship paranormal, but paranormal is still a big thing, and we're trying very hard this next year to make a push to get us back in the good graces of a lot of the paranormal investigators.
Fantastic.
So now I am going to confess that everyone, I went on total blind faith here. Part of this was obviously very attractive woman, very well spoken, beautiful smile, and as she pointed out, pretty much called me on my bullshit with her eyes. You can just see it. I tell everybody, and it's off early in the episode to use the F-bomb, but everyone that gets to know me has an F-U response programmed into their back of their head. They learned that just not to pay any attention to what I was going to say, because eventually I'm going to say something that would piss them off 90% of the time. But when they hear it come out of my mouth, they're going to go, F you. And I could just see, you had that response almost immediately. It was just, I could tell. So like I said, blind faith, everybody. But here's what I loved about, especially once you got at the con on Friday. I described it the best way I could in the promo for the show. You had this wide-eyed 6-year-old kid at the cotton candy stand look every time I saw you. Had you never been to a horror type convention before?
No, this is my first one ever.
See, that blows me away because up in more,
Baltimore?
I'll put it this way, closer to you than to me, there are a lot of horror conventions of various sizes, all the way from small hotel cons up to some that, dwarf the Scarefest. I mean, they're up and down the Eastern Seaboard, and I'm not saying they're in your backyard, but I'm saying that they're closer to you than they are to me. They're closer to you than Scarefest is to you. I'll put it that way.
Wes, when you spend every night at home watching scary movies and reading scary novels, it doesn't give you a lot of time to get out and frolic with the scary people.
Well, I guess I can understand that, but but now here's the cute part, everyone. Here's the cute part of it. Get her on as co-host. We've scheduled the episode. 2-3 days ago, she starts sending me these things about these conventions that are coming up in Maryland. No, not just on the Eastern Seaboard, not just a 6-hour drive. Just things that she has to maybe put gas in her car to get there. Maybe.
Like in my backyard, in my backyard. Yes.
And so I got to work, trying to get her media passes. So we actually do have someone now that's going to go to these conventions and do what everybody thinks I should do. So that part really shocked me. Now, because of your relationship with Jen, had you been to any of the paranormal events?
No. I have asked to tag along before, but when she usually goes to things, she goes for, a chunk of time. It's not usually just a day trip. So I hadn't had a chance, but I've always been very interested. I think that there are a lot of people in my family who are very gifted in the that they can sense and feel things, maybe have a lot of intuition to them. And I think that she is one of them. I am not as lucky, or I'm not sure if that's lucky or unlucky, but I do not have that. So I've always been a little bit jealous about that. And I've always wanted to tag along. And I think that now that she has introduced me into what really goes on, it's kind of opened up a world of opportunities for me. And I'm very excited.
Because, I see since I officially quit Live Paranormal, but even before that, the time I would see Jen was at the Live Paranormal would hold a event every year, a convention. It started out pretty big, and then realized they could make more money by downscaling it and having it in a haunted location. But last 2 years I've seen her at Poasttown Elementary, and she goes to that darn near every time that they have it. So in other words, because of the relationship and your connection with her, I'm just shocked that this was my first exposure to you. But maybe she did that on purpose. She knows me.
Actually, Wes, maybe if you had been exposed to me earlier, you couldn't handle it.
If I had a nickel for every time somebody said that to me, it's a weird way to make money, but I'd have a bunch of nickels. Everybody, we're going to take our first commercial break. We'll be right back with more Scarefest Television. Do you feel lost in life? Do you seem to be stuck in emotions that are not yours? Is your home not the sanctuary it should be? Contact Spirit Mechanics, where they take a team approach to your metaphysical and spiritual problems. Spirit Mechanics specializes in aura cleansing, stone attunement, attachment removal, and house cleansings. Spirit Mechanics tailors their approach to your individual spiritual path and needs. Find them every month at Lexington, Kentucky's Mystical Fair, mysticalfairlex.com, or on Facebook by searching Spirit Mechanics, that's MECHANIX. Spirit Mechanics, for your spiritual health and well-being. Everyone, the Mystical Fair is Lexington, Kentucky's only monthly psychic and holistic healing arts fair, and it's actually the place that I began my own journey into the spiritual world. Now, each month the Mystical Fair They offer the best in psychics, intuitives, and mediums, as well as a variety of metaphysical vendors, local artisans and crafters, and independently owned merchants who offer unique and special items. They have free seminars all weekend, and they support local. The artists and the talents and the readers, these are local talents. If you always say buy local, the Mystical Fair is a great place to do that. Make plans to visit the Mystical Fair. It's coming up October 12th and 13th. That's at 1084 Whipple Court in the Employment Solutions Building just off Newtown Pike. Now, that's this month. Now, I'm not going to go ahead and tell you where it's going to be next month, but I can tell you there are some big changes coming up for the Mystical Fair. Keep an eye on the website, keep an eye on Facebook. But coming up next weekend, 12th and 13th, the Mystical Fair will be going on. I'll be in there Saturday. I just found out I have to be there because they're having also a staff meeting. But we'll be hanging around there Saturday, but it's a great place to spend the weekend. Go one day, go 2 days. But the holistic healing, if you want to get a reading, they've got, usually they have the masseuse, they have foot detox. It's an incredible, the variety of vendors you will find there will just blow you away. Visit the website, mysticalfairlex.com, mysticalfairlex.com. Now, that last little clip was from the Nightmare Haunted House at Wicked World Scaregrounds. Everyone, next Friday night, we are going to be live from Wicked World Scaregrounds. I know I hate doing live remote events, but Wicked World is such a great sponsor of the Scarefest, and they have such a great event. I'll call it an event. It runs weekends through October. But right now, they are open Thursday through Sunday. They go to their website. I go to wickedworldscaregrounds.com. Come to find out they even have a shorter web address that was in the commercial. But that's what we're going to be doing next weekend, and that was their main attraction. I call it their main haunted house. They have 2 more attractions. You'll see clips from later. But that it was the Nightmare Haunted House, and we went through it last year, and it kind of does rock. It really does. Okay, everybody, back to Scarefest Television. And, of course, I changed all the backdrops for this one. Well, I got to dick something up every episode. Since we were talking about the paranormal, because Jen Anderson is a well-respected in the paranormal field, and she's been does some great interview work. I just want to know what. Now, you kind of alluded to you've got some people in your family. What is, let's just say, what do you believe? What is your opinion of ghosts and all that stuff? Where do you fall on this?
Where do I fall on that? I believe that there's certainly something. I think that we have a lot of labels for what's out there, and I'm not sure that that I'm sold on all the labels that we have, but there's certainly something out there because people have all these stories. And if they didn't have all these stories and have all these experiences, I mean, I can't believe that all these people are making these things up. So I really do think that there's something out there. I do believe that after we pass, that we do go on, and that our energy changes, and that the world is full of these different energies. I think that some people are very sensitive to them, and some people are not. So, yeah, that's about where I am right now.
Okay, and don't worry about hurting anyone's feelings, because you don't have to call out names. How do you feel about paranormal television? Do you watch any of it?
I have watched Jenny, of course, on her show. I think it's very interesting. She's had a lot of interesting guests who have opened my eyes about things that I didn't even know existed out there.
Yeah, but see, she's a good interviewer. Like next to me, she's like one of the best. You know, so yeah, so we'll throw that out. We'll give her that. Now I'm talking about the real TV stuff, the stuff that I can't get on, the network stuff.
Oh, like TV shows.
Yeah.
So I'm allowed to be honest on here, right?
Yeah. No, just don't say names.
I think it's very easy when you're on TV and you have commercial breaks and things are pre-recorded. I think it's very easy for you to make things very suspenseful and very interesting. So I don't know that I have as much faith in those as I do in just the regular people going out and doing things on their own.
It's actually no big secret, because actually you pull these guys aside. Actually, you don't have to pull them aside. You walk up to the table and talk to them about it. Yeah. Because I respect the people in paranormal television because they are getting a paycheck to do what they love doing. So God bless their hearts. I wish that's the way my life worked out. Now, that being said, they will tell you that what you see on TV usually is a very weak reflection of the way things went. For one thing, like they were there 12 hours, and you got to see 30 minutes of the semi-good parts. And I've had them tell stories about we caught really good evidence, but it was boring evidence. In other words, it was a thermal shot of a chair that had no one sitting in it, and they said they just decided not to use it because they had something else that they thought looked better, even though it wasn't paranormal in any way. That they could do. So yeah, there's a lot. The editing makes a big difference. Now on the horror front, what's incidentally, how much trouble is it? Okay, everybody, I want you to, can you aim your camera up on this show? Right now you're looking at everybody, you're seeing it, horse hoofs. You think that's a beautiful, beautiful painting behind her. This is what's in her damn living room, people. This is what's in her living room.
Yes, and when the kids come for Halloween, they ask me, "Oh, did you put that up for Halloween?" This is in my house year-round. That is actually a real horse's jawbone that has been actually nailed to the painting. It's by Warren Long. He's an artist out in California. It's called The Crusades, and I actually saw this painting hanging in a restaurant over a bar. And for years, I wanted to buy this painting, and they wouldn't sell it to me. And when the restaurant closed down, they auctioned off other pieces, and I was lucky enough to be able to get a hold of it. And it's just, I love it. I love the colors. I love the message. I just feel like it's a really great, beautiful piece of art. And yeah.
Now, and then there's a little skull there, a little skull lamp or something there right by it.
Oh, so some of these are Halloween decorations, of course, because it's October, my favorite month of the year. But some of them do stay out year round because I just love them.
Yeah, but now that you're doing this, they'll be out. You'll leave them out. You will. I had to actually move my stuff because it was interfering with the green screen.
Wow.
Now, I want to say that painting restored my faith in you. Because the other night when I asked you to if in case somebody emailed me the passes to get you into these cons, I got your email address, and oh my God, she's got an AOL address. I mean, what you and my grandmother, and she's been dead 10 years.
Really,
I mean, geez,
really.
AOL?
But I will never be lonely because anytime I am feeling lonely or like I need to connect with someone, I have the guy that tells me that I have mail.
Yeah. And if they does AOL still have all the creepy chat rooms? Because that they're usually, if you get real lonely, there's usually somebody hanging around there that'll tell you that you got mail too.
Yeah, I have not been in the chat room since I was in my early 20s. So
okay, yeah. So but yeah, when I saw that. Here is my, and this is from way back. I used to have AOL, but as the internet evolved, all the people on AOL thought AOL was the internet. It would like, you'd give them a website and how do I do that? And we're like, you put it in your browser. What's a browser? And they'd been on the internet longer than me. So anyway, okay. There's my rant about AOL. Horror movies. Now, you were a horror fan from way back.
Huge.
Before we first of all, do you have a favorite movie?
Of course I have a favorite movie. But I do have a favorite movie, and it's probably one of the first horror films that I ever saw, and what actually got me interested in horror in the first place. So, years ago when I was very, very young, there was a horror film that was done, and it was actually shown on TV. And I remember being at my grandmother's house, and Jennifer was probably there, and my mother was there, and the adults were going into the back room, and they were watching something on the TV, and I, as a child, was not allowed to go in there. And I remember going in and seeing glimpses of it. And those really stuck in my head, not only because the things I saw in there were scary, but the adults were so excited about this, and it was such a secret thing for them. That's something that I couldn't know about. And that movie, I don't know if most of you know it out there, was Trilogy of Terror, which Trilogy of Terror, which aired years ago, I want to say in the late 70s, early 80s, and has one of my favorite actresses in it, and she is, I am drawing a blank right now.
Welcome to my world.
Oh! Karen Black.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Her I know.
Yes, who again was just in House of a Thousand Corpses just a couple years ago, so she has had a long career.
Now, when you get, okay, I understand you getting your passion from that. It's my earliest weird TV experience was my mom wouldn't let me watch my mom's having a baby, and I was like 16 years old, and it was like made for 10 years old, and they came on at 4 o'clock in the afternoon in the after school theater, and she made me turn the TV off. That's the type of upbringing I had. As you've become an adult now, when you get into genres, I mean, are you more into the slasher, the thriller? What drives your passion on stuff that comes out now?
I like a good creature feature. I will always be someone who really likes a creature feature. And I think it stems from back then because, the first thing that was in that film that caught me was that was it a Zuni voodoo doll? And so I'm still very drawn to things that have monsters. I love monsters. I would say if you had to ask me, other than that one, what my favorite horror film is, it's actually kind of a horror / sci-fi. I really love The Thing with Kurt Russell. It was an amazing, amazing movie. It was a bit of a psychological thriller as well because, you've got these guys out there. It's a very lonely, cold place. There's a lot of claustrophobia going on because they're in this very tiny space together. You've got this thing that nobody knows what it is that has intruded in and is inside of people. So there's a lot of paranoia going on. Not only the scary alien aspect of it, but the actual interactions between the men themselves. I think one of the problems with that movie was that there were no females in it.
That's because you can't have one woman in an igloo in Antarctica. Things happen.
They do.
Yeah. I wouldn't trust me in an igloo. I wouldn't trust me with a dude after about 3 months. So anyway, we're going to take a commercial break, everybody. We'll be right back. Find out more about her horror chops. Everyone is talking about CBD oil. Most of us know that CBD is a cannabis compound that has significant medical benefits, but does not make people high. Its benefits include pain relief, anti-seizure properties, anxiety relief, fights cancer, reduces the risk of diabetes, and it is even used as a sleep aid. Blue Leaf Naturals CBD and hemp products are full-spectrum hemp extract oils. They use only hemp grown in Kentucky, supporting Kentucky farmers and businesses and helping you and your family stay healthy and well. Blue Leaf Naturals, created with care from seed to shelf. Visit their website at blueleafnaturals.com. Blue Leaf Naturals, a Kentucky proud company. Now, if you've been listening to my shows for any amount of time, you've heard me talk about Mark and Shelley James over at Akashic Awareness in Elizabethtown, Kentucky. Akashic Awareness is a metaphysical healing and learning center unlike any other in Kentucky. A large selection of crystals, gems, and minerals greet you when you walk in the door, and from that point onward, the journey is all yours. They offer a great selection of metaphysical tools, state-of-the-art healing classes, and lectures. Akashic Awareness is a place void of judgment. Everyone is welcome. All belief systems are welcome. It's all about finding self. Akashic Awareness is open Tuesday through Saturday, noon until 6:30, 7 on Friday and Saturday. Visit their website for a current calendar of all of their, it's almost daily special events at akashicawareness.com. While you're there, be sure to join their email list to stay current. Akashic Awareness, 328 Sycamore Street, Elizabethtown, Kentucky. The Hunted Zombie Laser Tag. We did it last year. It rocks.
What happened?
Little hint. Don't have more than 4 or 5 people tops in your group. We went in with, I think it was 7, and we had too many people. It takes some of the fun out for the people in the back. There's little inside baseball stuff, but Wicked World Scare Grounds, check out their zombie laser tag. It's as fun as it sounds. I'll put it out there that way. Everybody, we're back with more Scarefest Television, and our guest tonight is our upcoming co-host, CC. So we're talking about horror movies now. Now, you said you like the creature feature type, and I did. I love the thing. Now, does that flow over lately? And maybe it's because it's what's on my TV, but lately I have this thing. One of the local TV stations plays Godzilla movies on, it's either Saturday or Sunday afternoon. And oh my God, I love these things. I mean, I rarely sit and watch through the whole 2-hour movie, but at the same time, I love the lack of guile that went into making these movies. Do you like that type of stuff too?
I love them. I think they're fantastic. These were movies that came out before we had all the special effects, where you can actually see these are toy cars, these are toy tanks. I think they're fabulous. I think we should have a whole resurgence of doing movies like that are simple without all of the kind of crazy special effects, because I think that, people are kind of getting desensitized to all of these special effects and need something that's a little bit more basic. And I think going back to something like that and throwing some suspense in there, and I think would be a really interesting twist on things.
Now, we actually have a question from the chat room. I was wondering where everybody was. Now, on this is something I gripe about all the time, and I'm not saying they're all bad. How do you feel about remakes?
Remakes are tough. I think it's very hard to do a remake really well, because when you have a movie that comes out that is, bam, there it is. It's got everything that you're looking for. It makes people very, very excited. And you have a winner. People, they want to try to recreate it again. They do. And sometimes they get something that's really great again, but very few and far between do they ever have a remake that comes out as great as the original. So I see now that they're doing a lot of these in Hollywood, things that had come out years ago and they're trying to remake again. I think that it's taking a chance.
See, now the ones that were made years ago, I understand wanting to remake those, bring them up to modern times, introduce them to a new generation of fans. I get that. But these ones that are not, the damn video, I mean, they came out on DVD the first time and they're remaking them. The stuff it bugs me when they remake stuff that still feels very modern when you watch it. The most recent, and I have not seen the remake, but the Chucky movie. I went back and rewatched Child's Play, and that movie has aged very well. It was not dated. So I did not see where just adding animatronics, the artificial intelligence part to it was going to add anything for me to the story. So, but now some I get it. The 13 Ghost, I think it was, that was made way back until when they remade it. I'm not saying they did a great job, but I understand remaking that type of movie. Now this is one. Now this horror snobs will hate this. I'm a big fan of The Walking Dead. Okay, you gritted your teeth.
Yeah, I was really excited. I love a good zombie film. I think they're fantastic. I think that, that someday we may have a virus that could do things, and that we should maybe be worried about that just a little bit. I was not a fan of The Walking Dead. As much as I guess I am more for the true brain-eating type of zombie that originally came out. When The Walking Dead came out, I was so excited for it. And when I watched the first episode, it was a drama. Yeah. It was not a zombie film. It was a drama. It was like a rom-com that had some walking zombies in it. And I can't tell you how disappointed I was by that, but it has a huge following. So there are people out there that really love it. And I think they love it because of the drama and because of the storyline. It's just not me.
See, now I'm not going to say that I've loved every episode. I'm not going to get there. And one season, oh gosh, what was it, 6? It got so fucking depressing. It was like, just get them. Oh God, just put these people out of their misery for once and for all. So but at the same time, it always seems, in my eyes, to redeem itself. Now I agree. It's a character-driven horror series, but I'm trying to picture how you could make a zombie series that is really a true horror brain eating thing. Because even Zombie Nation,
yes,
that it's still, you fall in love with the characters, which incidentally those people would have been dead within 2 weeks. Every one of them, they're just total klutzes. There's no way they could survive the zombie apocalypse. There, I said it. But I do like the show. So I don't. In other words, that's almost a way. I don't think the show would have had, even though it might have made a impression on a lot of hardcore horror fans. I don't think the show would have had its longevity if it had been more blood, guts, eating brains, etc., and had not played so much on the drama.
Honestly, I have to say that I really don't watch a lot of series. I as a rule, because I am somebody who I like things very orderly, and I want to sit down and have a beginning, a middle, and an end. And when series are going on, I get very, very angry because I want to know what's happening at the end. And so I really shy away from those. So I'm probably not the best one to discuss series because, as a rule, I really kind of despise them. I do.
Okay, what? Oh, okay. Now we're gonna kind of pop genres. Somebody asked 2 questions in one line, and I was reading that, so I've already asked it. Okay. Now we've talked about the big stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Are you a fan of the independent type stuff?
Of course.
What?
I like it all. I really do. It's very far and few that there is a horror movie that I don't like for some reason. I feel like in almost all the horror films I've even watched, from the cheesiest one to the most low budget one to, the most expensive budget and amazing movie, there's something that you can really take from it that you can really, really love, even though it's not the best movie.
I like a cheesy horror movie if you can tell when you're watching it they realized while they were making it that it was a cheesy horror movie. Now,
come on, look at the Evil Dead movies. Come on, when the Evil Dead movies came out, they were cheesy horror films, but they were amazing. Who didn't love Evil Dead 1 and Evil Dead 2? They were amazing. Bruce Campbell was amazing. Just saw him at Scarefest. Wow, he looked awesome. I was expecting like a soccer dad, and he showed up looking like he had just stepped out of GQ magazine. I mean, he was right on, ladies.
I can't believe he dresses like that all damn day. I mean, he
looks great.
Yeah,
with the glasses.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he looked like a movie star. I was so impressed.
But at some point, you'd think he'd just go all burn notice on us and dress like me. I mean, that was, but
could happen.
Now, honestly, before I got hooked in with Scarefest, I didn't watch a lot of independent stuff just because I didn't. It wasn't on my radar. It wasn't that I cared one way or the other. I didn't avoid it. But since now to get ready for guests, you don't have to watch. I try to watch. I'm learning to ask them to recommend something. 2 seasons ago, we had a bunch of Scream Queens on, and Tiffany Shepis, which instantly, a little side story here. I had a Tiffany Shepis moment, everybody. If anybody of the fans remember my Tiffany Shepis moment. During the commercial break, Tiffany Shepis stood up in the camera where you all couldn't see it, but I could, and adjusted like her cleavage. Okay. and I'm like, does she not, and inches from the camera. Now, Cece did something similar, but she's checking her freaking teeth, using her webcam to check her teeth. I saw you do it. Trust me, you did. You leaned up and you're like picking your teeth. I'm like, that's not nearly as much fun. But okay, now, but now Tiffany, she has played in some, and she admitted it as much, some trashy movies. Most of the stuff I watched of hers, I liked because even on her lower budget stuff, you could tell they were having fun with it. Now I was getting ready for another guest that actually never made it on the show, and I tried to watch her old stuff, and she had done a lot of stuff that you could tell the director just had high ambition, and he blew his you could tell he blew his money on I think it might have been on the helicopter scene, and had nothing left to do all the zombies. You could just say, you could just tell he had no money left to do the zombies, so they were just like homeless people wandering around. It was it was bad, but so that's my take on it. Now one thing we'll probably try to get you in on is we're going to be interviewing some of the people that directed and starred in some of our people from our movies from the film festival this year. And so I'll give you links on that. But I'm going to tell you, these were just absolutely off the hook good, mostly thriller types. A couple were slasher, but no, I didn't see any of them. I watched one, and I don't think it even made the film festival because it was borderline porno. But one slasher flick, and within 10 minutes, it's like it made me squeamish, but not because of the amount of blood. It's where the blood came from. There, I'll just put that out there.
Well, I think that a lot of these horror films are actually, they're made by men. There are not a lot of females out there who are doing these films. However, horror movies have a huge female audience. So tell me why that is.
Is it like porn? Maybe it's like porn. I don't know. Now, another question from the chat room. Now, how do you feel that your love of horror has affected you? I'm going to say mentally, but he said, how's it affected your life? But so that how does your love of horror movies, how does that, how do you feel like that's affected you?
How has it affected me? Well, I'm certainly an avid reader, so I have a fantastic vocabulary because I've been reading horror forever since I was a kid. I remember going to the library, the public library, when I was an adolescent and getting the Twilight Zone books because they were fantastic.
I didn't even know they had freaking books. Okay.
Yes, it was like a teen series that they had, and it was great. And so I just ate that stuff up. And how did it? Well, it's also kind of kept me kind of sheltered too, I think, though, because like I said, every night at my house is scary movie night. So I stay home and watch a lot of movies where I probably should be out socializing a little bit more.
See, but now you've learned there's a whole world of people just as weird as you are. Everybody, we're going to take our final commercial break. We'll be right back with more Scarefest Television.
Coyote Chris Sutton.
Shamanism.
Spiritual advisement.
Paranormal investigations.
Inspirational presentations.
Bringing light to the darkest places for over 20 years. Go to coyotechris.com to learn more.
And everybody, that was the Valley of the Dead at Wicked World Scaregrounds. Once again, next weekend, don't forget, we'll be broadcasting from there. Come join us if you're in the area. We've got the links on the website. Address is right on there. Come on down on Tates Creek Road. They call it Nicholasville, but we go from Lexington. It's like between the two. But yeah, we're Friday night. We'll tell you here in a minute. Let's go ahead and we need to do we need to do that. Here's the banner. But we'll be there next Friday night. We're going to be broadcasting live. It'll be a lot of fun. If you show up with anything, damn near anything that proves you were there at Scarefest this year, that can include your pass that is probably still on in your email on your phone. You can wear your 2019 official T-shirt, either style. If you took a photo of anybody, basically, if there was a scary clown at Scarefest, good chance it came from Wicked World. But if you took a picture at the booth or whatever, if there's something that makes it look like you were there, they will give you $2 off admission to any of their attractions. So there's that. Now, while we're on the topic of places we're going to be, GalaxyCon is coming up. And I still want to call it Louisville SuperCon, but it's GalaxyCon now. November 22nd through 24th. I'll be there. I'll probably be doing bad tarot readings if you're interested in that kind of stuff. But the main thing is we're going to be there. We're going to have some, the Scarefest swag should be in the booth. Some of the new stuff that we had, probably have some t-shirts. But, stop by, find us at GalaxyCon, Louisville, Kentucky, November 22nd through 24th. Do that. And then finally, here is our last reminder, the Scarefest wines. on sale through Christmas, so they make the perfect Christmas gift. Right now, they've got the 3 varieties. The 4th variety that we talked about before Scarefest is going to be available just any day now. Any day now. So we got that. But these are souvenir wines. They're actually apparently quite delicious from what I've been told. But they got 3 styles now. One commemorates Kane Hodder. We've got the basically the official T-shirt logo on one of them, and the other one is about the VIP party. It's got our horror drag show. So that is those are some things going on. Just go to thescarefest.com, go to merchandise, and I don't know what's going on CeCe's cam, but I'm about to unmute her, and it sounds like they're torturing a dog. So the cat's dead, I understand now.
I don't know what you're talking about, Wes.
Apparently, the man in her life decided to move furniture during the while I was talking about that. I had it muted, fortunately, but it about blew me out of here. So we've kind of banged around on this. Now, one other thing, I'm going to give CeCe a plug, just in case anybody wants to stalk you, because you're not going to be alone. World Oddities Expo, everybody. In a couple weeks, we're going to have someone from the World Oddities Expo in Baltimore, Maryland, come on the show. CeCe will be co-host that night, so you get to find out if she can actually ask questions in addition to answer them. But Baltimore, Maryland, November 1st through 3rd, go to the web address. I always, when somebody has a long web address, I call it an unfortunate web address. This one is actually a very good web address, but nobody spells this stuff anymore. It's woetothee.com. And it stands for World of, I don't even know World Oddities Expo. World Oddities Expo. WOE 2TO. The. Nobody says the anymore. THEE. But the World Oddities Expo Baltimore. Google it. They got some really weird stuff. CeCe's going to go down and do some reporting. Bring that back to me, and we'll be showing you some clips of what she finds at the World Oddities Expo. So that'll be coming up. Now, to close out the show, we got a few minutes left here. We've talked horror. One thing you brought up about you don't watch TV series. You have to watch. Now, Netflix is great. You can binge watch Netflix. It's just like a 3-day movie. But the Hulu makes me so mad because a lot of stuff they release episode by episode. And I'm like, and I'm wanting to binge watch it. One, you got to watch What We Do in the Shadows. I know you're not. Have you seen any of that? Yes, Vampires. Yeah. I love Vampires. I love that series. Vampires had went so far off the rails that I kind of had lost my interest in vampires. I think Blade was the last vampire movie that I really liked. But
Blade was excellent. That was a hardcore vampire film. When Twilight came out, we all turned into diamond dust. It totally just lost me for a while.
Once them bitches started sparkling, I was out of there. But yeah, they What We Do in the Shadows has brought back the classic vampire with a comedy take. People, if you haven't watched it, they take the vampires and now they're in the modern world and they're still these old world vampires. Just to continue, now have you got to see any of that yet?
I have not actually. I told a little bit of a lie. Right now I am watching one series, which I try not to, but it is based on one of my favorite movies from childhood, which is The Dark Crystal. So I am actually binge watching the series, and it is amazing. The special effects, the puppetry is amazing. I love it. It's gorgeous.
I have not watched that series yet. I saw that was out, but it came out just about the same time as the last season of The Walking Dead, and so I'm like, I'm 2/3 of the way through Walking Dead.
Yeah.
So I'll get around to that one. I'll get around to that one. If you were on a desert island and you could only take one horror movie with you.
If I could only take one horror film with me, and that's implying that I'm on a desert island and I'm deserted
there. Electricity.
However, I also have a TV with electricity.
See, that's how sharp she is, people. I had my punchline already. So what the hell does it matter? You're on a desert island. But okay, yeah. Let's assume you have cable and big screen TV.
I could only watch one movie that was a scary movie the rest of my life. I'm gonna say. People might be mad at me for this one, but I'm going to say Army of Darkness because it's got a little bit of everything. It's funny, it's scary, it's cheesy.
I almost hate to admit it. I loved Army of Darkness when it came out, and then I rewatched it because Bruce was coming to the thing. It didn't age as well with me as I thought it would. In other words, it's still one I like, but it's not one that I wouldn't want to be trapped on a desert island with it. I think, as weird as it is, it might be Hellraiser, because that movie messed me up so bad when I watched it. I figure if you got to do something to break the boredom, I cannot imagine getting bored with Hellraiser or any of that little series there, because they were.
And you certainly wouldn't want to eat, so you'd probably be okay being on a desert island.
There you go. It would completely, even coconuts would look really, really bad. But yeah, that. So we're at the end of the show, and I went through all my notes. So bye everybody. No, it's not gonna be like that. Everybody, now we're going to Cece and Jason will be my main horror host coming up. We're going to see how that goes. She'll be sharing duties with Holly when it comes to Holly LaFavors when it comes to pop culture. We'll be bouncing that back and forth. I might, now, depending on how the season goes, we actually tend right at Scarefest to get a kind of a dearth of paranormal guests because there's so damn many of them and they're easy to get. And I've got Chad and I've got Chris that do those. I might try to slide you in there a little bit just to break things up a little bit, because they were getting all the airtime last year for a couple months.
Yeah, I was going to say, do you want me to put a good word for you, Wes?
But yeah, Chris and Chad, I was wearing them out there for a while. So you it's nice to have somebody on that fits in across the board. Everybody, I hope that you enjoyed tonight. I hope that when you finally get to meet her in person. And now that is something I should announce. Ken Boggle has left the show. He did not get fired. He's basically moved. He's got a new gentleman in his life. He's kind of starting over. He's retired from tarot.
I was there when he retired.
Oh, were you?
Yes. So I was in there for his very last session at Scarefest. And it was emotional. It was something else. He just really poured out his soul to everyone and said that, all this time he's been doing things and for other people, and it's just time that he needs to take a break and take care of himself. And I just really respected that, because I think it's important for you to take care of yourself. You've got to have good self-care before you can take care of other people. And I think he's been taking care of other people for so long that he really just needs some time to be private in his private life with his new man, and to get settled in and just enjoy his life right now. And it was amazing to be able to be there and share that moment with him. Everybody was, it did my heart good to be in there. And Ken, good luck to everything to you and anything you decide to do in your future endeavors. Thank you for letting me share that moment with you.
And I will publicly say right now, the moment he says I want back on Scarefest TV, he's got a spot. He's that talented and that good. So Ken, we wish you luck. Everybody, this has been Scarefest Television. We'll be back next week live at Wicked World.